What's up, everybody? This is the Planet Earth here. How are you guys doing? So, we need to have a little discussion. Um, turn it down. Nope. So, we need to have an actual discussion, okay? So, like I said, we need to have a little discussion, and I'm going to wait a couple minutes before the stream hits people's phones and tablets and desktops. So, we're going to have a little discussion. What's up, everybody? This is the Planet Earth here. How you guys doing? It's been a very rough 4 months and going on. I don't know what is going on, but something is going on, if that makes sense. I've been suffering from anxiety and panic disorder since I was a child. I am now a grown adult and still suffering. For me, anxiety, it never goes away. Never. No matter what, it never goes away. It changes over the years, but it never goes away, ever. Anxiety disorder is very bad. Anxiety disorder is very bad. It's detrimental. It's something you don't want to have. Let me explain it that way. That's the simplest way that I can put it. You don't want anxiety, okay? This has been torturing me for millennia. Well, I don't know how many years that is, but more than a decade. More than 2 decades, actually. 20 years. More. Almost 20 years. It sucks. It's constant. It never ends. Never. It's every day. Every hour. Almost every minute of every day of every hour. What causes anxiety? Psychiatric trauma, PTSD, fear, agoraphobia, moderate agoraphobia, light agoraphobia, severe agoraphobia, which I don't have. But it is debilitating. It's ruined my life so far. I've made countless videos and live streams of it, but nobody ever seems to take it seriously. Nobody ever seems to take anxiety disorder on a serious level. Driving from Los Angeles to New York City, anxiety. Oh, I'm going to break down in Kansas. Oh, I'm going to break down going through Interstate 70 through the Colorado mountains. It never ends. It never ends. It is something that will always be there. And Drew just got denied from Social Security income. Sorry to hear that, Drew. Government is gone AWOL. I mean, our country is dead, man, at this point. Like, I've been saying this for the last 4 years, literally. Well, almost 4 years now. Ever since March of 2020, This country has just gone insane. We got Jewish people building underground tunnels. We got people blocking roads and access and blocking ambulances. We got people attacking judges and jumping over their counters and attacking them. I mean, we got earthquakes right on the tick of 12 a.m. practically. I don't know what else to say to this. I mean, we got the weirdest crap going on. And it's getting closer to that 2030. So it's getting worse. Also, it is January and it's raining in the Northeast. Okay? It's January. It is 54 degrees Fahrenheit. In January. Okay? In January. In the Northeast. That ain't normal. I'm sorry. And these winds are supposed to pick up in the next 3 hours. Really bad. Supposed to be very gusty, maybe even some power outages. But the point I am making is, on top of everything that is going on, the anxiety is bad. And the worst part is, it never ends. It never ends, the anxiety. It is every day, every hour, every minute, every second, almost consistent anxiety. So what do you do? Do you take medications? Do you take antidepressant medication? Do you take benzodiazepines? Do you take antipsychotics? Do you take Benadryl, Vistaril, any of those medications? Do you go to the hospital, think you're dying, and then they say you're okay? Treat you. Maybe they'll treat you. Maybe if you're lucky, they'll stop your anxiety attack. Or what do you do? I mean, your body is always in a fight or flight response for no reason. Doctors don't seem to care. I mean, genuinely, they don't care. They don't care about me. They don't care about Drew. Yes, I get sharp chest pain. Yes, I get dull chest pain. Yes, my heart is okay for some reason. But the point I am making is, yes, not every day, not every minute. Palpitations, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Palpitations occasionally, skipped heartbeats. Feels like it's kind of like skipped heartbeats. Yes, anxiety does that. Sometimes maybe a little bit of a, I don't know, allergy can do it too, by the way. You don't have to have a full-blown reaction, but you can still have palpitations. You might have a heart murmur, you may not, but you can get palpitations from too much caffeine. You can get palpitations from too much anxiety, stress, abuse, etc. It never ends. The anxiety never ends. It is a never-ending story. It never ends. It never ends, okay? Do you guys understand? Do you guys understand? I have been advocating for anxiety since about 2009 or 8. 9. I've been advocating and talking about it for so many years, it ain't even funny at this point. Of course, yeah, of course. So, you are always going to have it. If you develop an anxiety disorder and you don't start taking your medication or getting therapy right as you start to develop it, it will become permanent. It never goes away. I try, guys, after 30 years of my life and counting, it don't go away. No matter what I do, no matter where I go, no matter what time, forever. It is a part of me. It is for my life, forever. for the rest of my life. It is a cancer of the brain. Not technically, but indirectly. It will never go away. Never. Forever and ever and ever, you will suffer. Especially if it's chronic. You might start off with just the standard panic attacks and go on to full-blown generalized anxiety. And that generalized anxiety is a hell of a lot worse than the occasional high heart rate panic attack. Where you get the shortness of breath, you feel like you're dying, you're like looking left and right, you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. You know, that kind of stuff. It is forever. Listen here. It will never go away. Do you understand? Never go away. It's permanent. If you have a mild form of it, you are one lucky motherfudger. If you have a mild form of this stuff, you are one lucky motherfudger. If you are able to handle your anxiety without medication, you are one lucky motherfudger. If you can handle it with a very small dose of a benzodiazepine or even a small dose of some sort of antidepressant, and it actually does work for you, congratulations, you are one lucky motherfudger. I can't do it. I went off my medication, couldn't do it. I withdrew for 6 months, couldn't do it. Every day my heart rate, blood pressure was explosively high. Blood pressure over 200 on the top, 120 on the bottom. Definitely high. Luckily, I haven't really stroked out like that. I had a blood clot. It's gone. In the brain, but gone. Stress kills. I don't know what else to say. Nothing works. Nothing works on my anxiety. Nothing. Nothing. Nada. Zero. Zilch. Zero. Zero. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing works. Nothing. Nothing. Do you guys understand what I am saying? Nothing works. Nothing. The only temporary relief I get are from certain medications. But it is not a permanent fix. And unfortunately, when you stop taking the medication, you die. If it's sudden. So, doctors in 2005 put me on these medications. La-da-da-da-da-da-da, anxiety goes down, la-da-da, goes back up. Wait, why does it go back up? Oh, they switched me from one medication to the other, and I was having reactions to it. Bang goes to the psychiatric hospital. Bang goes to another psychiatric hospital. 3 days, 6 days, 3 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days. State hospital. Bang gets admitted to the psychiatric hospital, state hospital. What does he do after 2 months? They kept injecting me with hardcore antipsychotic medication for over 3 fucking months. 3 fucking months. Over 90 days in a state mental hospital. And to find out that they kept injecting me through intramuscular injections of geodone or haldol and lithium. Now, I don't know if it was, I think it was haldol. Kept giving me geodone and haldol. Kept panicking. Kept trying to escape. One day that doctor said he's having anxiety. It was a different doctor. It wasn't this doctor that was seeing me for 2.5 months. Or 2 or more than half months. So one day they came in. We're going to have to give you an intramuscular injection of a benzodiazepine. We want to see if what you're suffering with is psychosis or anxiety. They gave me that intramuscular injection in 2007. And ever since then, it's been the hell on the planet Earth for me. My whole life has been anxiety. Even when I was in California, anxiety. Driving on the road, anxiety. There has never been a night where I can just peacefully sleep in a car. I can't do it. I physically cannot sleep in a car. To this day. Not unless I'm so tired, if I'm about to just pass out, I can pull over and sleep. But I have to be on the verge of so tired that I turn delirious to sleep. I have to be up at least 15 to 16 hours to finally pull over to sleep. I can't be a normal person and sleep in a car. I cannot be a normal person at a stranger's house or people that I'm not familiar with and sleep. When I was a kid, I had a hard time sleeping at my known friend's house, even though it was cold, quiet, peaceful, comfortable beds, comfortable couches, nice TV sets for the back then. Nope, Ben could not relax, even before medication was given to me. I always had anxiety, I didn't know what about. So you fast forward all these years of suffering, of the mental suffering. I think I was like 9 or 10. I think. It never ended. Every day. Multiple years. It never ended. It's actually insane. All these years, I was never able to get a break. Never. Why is it that I can never get a break? Why is it that I cannot have a good day? I mean, we're talking 20 plus years of suffering since I was a kid. +20 years. Imagine having anxiety for 20+ years. Just imagine that for a second. Imagine you're in prison for 20 years. And imagine someone is torturing you for 20 years straight. And imagine going through all of America's usual methods to treat anxiety with different types of medication, different types of therapies, ECT treatment, electrocompulsive therapy, what's the other one? CBT therapy, and I think 2 other types of therapy, but I didn't like it. Imagine going through 5 different therapists over the years. Imagine spending hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars over the years on medication. Imagine spending $50, $60 on antidepressants and $20 to $30 over the years on benzodiazepines to manage a disorder that never goes away. It is a prison for your mind. And no matter how much remoteness or going to Hawaii on a cheap flight with the Allegiant Airlines, no matter what I did to go on a cheap airline just to get the hell away from the anxiety. I had anxiety in Hawaii. It was minimal, but I still had it. Anxiety in Los Angeles, anxiety in New York, anxiety in Texas, anxiety in Florida, anxiety in Ohio, anxiety in Illinois, anxiety in Missouri, anxiety in Kansas, anxiety in Indiana, anxiety in Pennsylvania, anxiety in New Jersey, anxiety in Rhode Island, anxiety of all of New York State, anxiety in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, anxiety in Quebec City, Quebec. Just imagine having that anxiety everywhere you go. It never goes away. It never will. Everywhere, guys. Everywhere I've been, my anxiety's been there with me like a evil friend. I've been on sertraline. I've been on Zoloft. It don't work. It's like a abusive spouse. Yeah, you're right. It's also a part of me. And I've tried to control it. I've tried over the years. Nothing works. Not a damn thing. The only thing that kind of works are benzodiazepines, which if you suddenly stop taking, you can seizure out and die. Of course, right? The only fucking medication that works, for the most part, on immediately helping people with anxiety attacks will kill you if you suddenly stop taking it. Of course. Of course it would be that, right? Of course, the only medication that could stop anxiety, for the most part, has to kill you if you suddenly stop taking that. So if the anxiety and stress don't kill you, the withdrawal will kill you if you suddenly stop taking these medications. Out of all these medications, benzodiazepines are the only ones that seem to work on people, but when you stop taking them, you die. And if you don't die, you suffer from all these physical sensations, depersonalization, increased anxiety even more than before what you had before, panic attacks, high blood pressure, high pulse rate, you name it, you're going to get it. You want a heart attack? You have a poor heart? You have anxiety? Goodbye. You're leaving the world. So, you take all these antidepressant medications over the years. Nothing works. Imagine being in that situation. Just imagine being in that situation where you're taking all these antipsychotics, antidepressants, anti-anxiety agents, analytic medication, benzodiazepines, and nothing works. But when you take that Xanax, or you take that Klonopin, or you take that Valium, or you take that Ativan, or you take that, what's the other one, Librium, it works. Suddenly, all of a sudden, your brain kind of calms down, and you're kind of able to kind of flood advisory. You're kind of able to calm down. So why the fuck does it take a medication that's similar to alcohol in mechanism to calm somebody down? Why? Why are there no other medications out there that work like that without the withdrawal? It has to be, I'm going to talk to so many doctors. It practically has to be a narcotic. Then, when you go to the emergency room, right? You go to the emergency room. Hi, I'm Ben. I think I'm dying or having a possible heart attack or a panic attack. Okay, what's your name and your address? And then they give you the ID bracelet, right? Put it on you. Is that your name and date of birth? Yes. You go to the emergency room, you go to the back. You're sitting there and you're panicking. They don't give a shit. Most part. Oh, they come in, the nurse is like, well, let's do triage. So they hook you up to a cuff, pulse ox. They see, oh my God, 140 beats per minute, 150, maybe even 160 if it's bad. And then they take the blood pressure and like, holy shit, 150 over 100 or 170 over 100 or 200 over 120. And they're like, oh crap, we gotta help you. Or imagine the times like in Dayton where they refused to help me with a blood pressure reading of 205 over 117. Imagine they kick you out of the hospital. I'm walking down the street barefooted. I call 911 again. I said the hospital refuses to treat me. The 911 dispatcher gets mad. Listen, the 911 dispatcher near Kettering gets mad, calls the hospital and says, you cannot just discharge a patient that is having a crisis, whether it be a psychiatric crisis or a physical crisis. What are you doing? And so that person, that doctor, was a dick. Another doctor was sent out of the hospital, and I'm sitting on the public sidewalk. It's cold as shit, and I'm sitting in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, barefooted. And all of a sudden, a doctor comes out of the ambulance area, comes, talks to me, and tells me to come back in. Whoa, right? So eventually, I get back into that hospital with a different doctor. The doctor says, I need to recheck your vitals. So they got a call from dispatch, Dayton, or Kettering, I think it was Kettering or Dayton. I think it was Dayton. Dayton, Ohio. So they reevaluate me after I did that 911 call because I was going through 4 days without no meds. None. Nothing. About to seizure out and die. So, I get in there. I sit down. The doctor himself wants to see if my vitals are bad. What do they know? 180 beats per minute. Blood pressure, 150 over 108. Holy shit, they say. Doctor says, please lay down in that room over there. So I go to the room. I lay down. They put both the things up. They put me on the heart monitor. They start an IV on me. And they shoot me with Ativan. Then, that doctor wrote me a prescription, which is rare these days, but he wrote me a 60-day supply or 2-month supply of prescription and told me to find a doctor. That never happens in an ER room. That never happens in an ER room. They said, we're sorry, and they wrote me a prescription for 2 months, one with a refill. And I went back to my house in Ohio with a prescription. Then I saw a actual psychiatrist in Ohio who gladly kept continuing my prescription with no problems. For the whole time that I was in Ohio, once I was good. I should not have to go through that. I should not have to be abused by a doctor when they did a urine test, drugs of abuse test on me. Drugs of abuse. DOA. Drugs of abuse. They did a DOA test on me. What do they find in my bloodstream? Alcohol? No. Methamphetamines? No. PCP? No. Barbiturates? No. Opioids? No. Benzodiazepines? Yes. Duh. They changed their tune real quick. I had no choice but to call 911 in front of the hospital. They pushed me out with security. Then the security guard comes in and says, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you were really going through a crisis. The doctor just told me to kick you out. We're demonized. We're demonized by society. People like us are demonized. We're looked down. They just insult us and degrade us before they even look at the facts. Especially when you're moving states. It's a really sad situation. There are millions of people out here that are suffering every day, And there are thousands that die each year from benzodiazepine withdrawal around the world. There are thousands that die because doctors don't know the repercussions. Imagine that. Imagine that your whole life you take these medications and they suddenly stop you, like it's an alcoholic that has been an alcoholic for 20 years and then suddenly stop that medication. You're gonna die. And this is what they do, not just in America, not just in Canada, not just in Mexico, but around the world. Don't prescribe these medications if you're going to suddenly stop them. My opinion. A doctor can stop you suddenly on these medications, but the lawsuit if you die is insane. At least in America. But this is sad. And it's pathetic. We're scrutinized. We're looked down by people and society. We are. We are looked down. We are the deplorables of America. If you live in America. We're deplorables to other people. They don't like us. They're elitist. They don't have anxiety. They don't have depression. They don't have any medical or mental issues for the most part. They're fine. They live a very long life. They live a very long, comfortable life without anxiety, and so they can advance in their work and their form. They can go to the most extreme areas in the world. I've seen people hiking in the middle of the Himalayas. I've seen people, you've seen TikTok videos. They're hiking in the middle of nowhere for many, many months, many weeks. They're fine because they don't have anxiety. They have optimism. People with anxiety develop pessimism because it's every single day. There is no breaks. People don't understand that. It is not just, oh my God, I'm going to worry. Is this car going to stall? Am I going to accidentally slide on the water here? Am I going to go into a creek? Like, that's how it is with people with anxiety. Is this car going to start? Like, that ain't kind of anxiety. Obviously not yet, but is it going to start? Is it not going to start? And that's what people with anxiety disorders deal with every single day, and nobody cares. Nobody. Not nobody. Nobody cares. There is nobody that I know other than the other people here on YouTube.com that care. And maybe my significant other. I'm sure she does. So, who do we talk to? When all these people in New Jersey and New York, all they do is they live their life, they go to their jobs, and they live normally. Normally. What is so hard about living a normal-ish life? What is so bad about living a normal-ish life where you can get up every morning and just live normally without feeling like you're going to die? What kind of lifestyle was that, guys? What kind of lifestyle was that? Where every day it is either live or die. Can anybody explain? Does anybody want to explain? I don't know what else to tell you guys. I have no idea. It's not something that's going to go away. We will forever panic about this stuff. Forever. It is never going away. I talk about this all the time. I talk about anxiety all the time. Nobody cares. Because they don't suffer from it. And until they get into our shoes of suffering, physically, physiologically, It will never end. Oh, Ben, you want to drive and watch the high wind in New Jersey? Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. What if you get into a flood? What if the ocean comes over and crushes you and throws you into the water? Like, what the fuck kind of thoughts are those? This isn't life. This isn't how life was supposed to be. It was supposed to be much simpler in terms of, well, life. And that's what's happening. That's how it is. That's what we deal with every day. It's a physical feeling. It's a physical feeling of dread. And it never goes away. Never. The feeling never goes away, guys. Never. For your whole life. Never goes away. And that's just how it is out here, guys. Out here in this world that we live in, people with certain anxiety disorders, man, we don't know what a normal life is. We really don't. We really don't. Well, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this live stream. If you want to leave comments after this video, that would be great. I'm shocked that we don't have better help around the world for this disorder. It's debilitating to a lot of us. And unfortunately, I mean, people could say, oh, woe is me, but they just don't understand. It's a lot worse than that. It's a physiological sensation. It never disappears no matter what you do. Oh, get off your high horse about anxiety. It's a lot worse than that. It's a physically debilitating. It eats away at your emotions. It eats away at your ability to do certain things that normal everyday humans would love to absolutely do. And it does it every single day. For years. It is torture. Anxiety is torture. I can't think of anything worse than it. More help, more therapy, more areas for people with anxiety to maybe be like slightly less stressed out. I'm not talking about places. I'm just talking about how people treat people with anxiety. But it's bad. I might start a new live stream soon, guys. So yeah, I can show you the winds here in New Jersey. Okay? I haven't been out here since 2018. So I might show you guys this the high wind here when it gets worse. It's gonna get worse here in about an hour based on the wind patterns I'm seeing. Alright. Bye, guys.